I was introduced to OXYfit by a friend. I'd always talked about with guys in the gym maybe getting more oxygen in whilst you're training, trying to expand the lungs, and especially on big heavy leg sessions we'd always said, God, wouldn't it be good if you didn't run out of breath on the final sets, the final reps, and you had just that little bit more to be able to push you along. Because sometimes the cardiovascular activities do come into play when you're doing anaerobic exercise, i.e. lifting weights. So as soon as I was told about OXYfit and getting more oxygen, I thought, wow, that's got to be a product that I want to try.
I started using it, would have been about 1.5 years ago, and it's superb for recovery. I mean, I've doing all the sessions and doing brick sessions and really putting back-to-back sessions together. Fatigue is such a big thing in triathlon, and it's so easy to get overly fatigued. People don't realise that even though you're doing 3 different disciplines, it's still part of the same sport, and you do 2-3 training sessions a day. Not very many people in any other sports do that. So OXYfit was amazing for recovery.
OXYfit gives you oxygen-enriched blood, which then helps you to train harder, and then at the same time helps you to recover faster. So the more training we can do, the faster we can recover, the better it is, and the more we can do of it. The same as testing on a motorbike. We need to keep training as much as when we're not on the bike as when we are riding.
I use OXYfit mainly 1 day per week, maybe for 2 days. I use it for heavy, hard activities, i.e. deadlifting and for back and legs. They're the 2 hardest sessions of the week. So my compound exercise where I deadlift, it requires a lot of cardiovascular activity to be able to oomph the weights up, especially on legs as well. The legs are so big, they take up so much blood, and when all the blood's drained from the rest of the body, you feel weak. Taking the OXYfit just means that the blood's pumped round, I've got more red blood cells in the system, and means I'll be able to have that extra bit of breath towards the end of the sets, towards the end of the sessions, to be able to squeeze out the reps that I need to be able to be the best.
With the Superbikes, I use it in the morning to wake up. It makes me more alert, you know, and if I'm more mentally alert, we can go into first practice or qualifying, feeling like we've got a bit of a better edge and definitely more on the ball. I then use it during practice or qualifying. It's all timed. We're only out for a couple of laps at a time, so it's really good to come in, get a few breaths, regain composure. This is where the OXYfit helps with that before going back out to really push for a time. And then again at the end of the day, for recovery, for any aches, pains, you know, or the inevitable, something bad happens like a small crash or off, you know, the OXYfit can help to repair and keep myself ready for the next day.
I think with OXYfit it's a confidence thing. It's being able to know that either taking it before the set to be able to give you the extra bit of oxygen there to push yourself for the last or the first couple of reps, to feel fitter for the first couple, or you also know that when you are puffing and panting on the last 4 reps, 5 reps, the ones that you wouldn't usually put in, you know that you can come up straight off the exercise, the machine, whether it be hack squat, deadlift, leg press, just squatting basically, you know that you've got something there to back yourself up straight afterwards to have some oxygen to feel better again. It helps you rest, recover in between sets. There's nothing like it just to get a good, fresh sense of rest in between the sets.
After a race, you feel obviously you're in oxygen deficit, so you're constantly, for the next day or 2, you're constantly trying to get oxygen back in and replenish the muscles and everything. So with this just speeds up the process a lot. I mean, there's only, I know the science better than me, but there's only, what, 26% oxygen in the air, something like that, probably less, and there's 100% in there, so you're speeding it up by 4 or 5 times. So
just at the right time when your body really needs it.
When your body's absolutely craving it. So in my eyes, it's silly not to use this. I mean, you're just getting the most out of your exercise by recovering well after it.
Obviously, being a natural sport, bodybuilding with the federations that I compete with, there's not a lot we can play with. So OXYfit being natural for me is unbelievable. It just gives you an edge over your other competitors that aren't using it. To be able to put something in, you obviously do all the supplements and everything that we can, and taking the proteins and everything to recover, but just having that other natural substance there to be able to push on your training when you think there's nothing else there, it's really good to try.
It's important to really enjoy your training, because we have to train so much during the season, because it goes from April until October. So we mix a lot of cycling with running, with weight training, but it's all about keeping in perfect balance, not being too heavy, not being too light, keeping the nutrition the same, and really being on top of the form. OXYfit gives me the benefits, you know, of faster recovery, you know, more alertness, being able to train harder, being able to train longer. So by training every day, OXYfit's the important part that really helps to keep me going every day.
Actually become a part of the training now, so it's like having a drink with you at all times. You wouldn't come to training without a bottle of water or something, so I always have my oxygen with me as well.
Could be the fastest time of the day, we're going to have to wait to find out. Daniel Sings in second and Robert Bundis in third.
How much do you reckon OXYfit has contributed to that really good result there?
Oh, definitely, they'll be there. They'll be. I mean, I use it after all my training, so it's combined with everything. I mean, you look at someone like Lance Armstrong, he's just every little detail of his bike, of his training, nutrition. It's like this. I mean, yeah, I'd do okay without it, but it just gives me the edge. And like we were talking about before as well, it's that psychological edge, knowing that you're well prepared for it, you're fully recovered before you go into the race, and knowing that afterwards you can push yourself as hard as you want, and you know you're going to get good recovery afterwards.
Most days I'll bring me with me the can of OXYfit. It's I think it's a 1 litre can. I bring that for my leg sessions on a Friday, and I keep an OXYfit in my bag at all times. For the Friday, sometimes I bring for my leg sessions or quad sessions, I have an 80 litre bottle as well, and that comes with the mask. So I use that for maybe 5 minutes before I go onto the actual exercise, so I get loads of red blood cells and loads of oxygen into the system before I've even started working out. And then I can start doing my warm-ups and then use the smaller cans during the workouts. They're easy accessible, so if you're training with a partner, or you can just leave it by the side of you. So as soon as you finish your set, I grab the OXYfit and I just get straight breathing it.
For the gym, we shall use it in between every weight session. So it'll be used every couple of minutes to aid recovery mainly, and to give me the strength for each set. With cycling, we'll use it before but after to help with the recovery, and really to help at the beginning to get the lungs, get the whole body working before we hit the pedals. So there's a way that OXYfit fits into everything that we do.
When I first started using it, put it this way, I would do a 2-3 hour session in the morning where I'll be swimming for an hour, biking for 2 to 3 hours, and after that I'd be completely fatigued. I'd have to have a sleep. Basically, I'd have to lie down and just recover if I wanted to do anything that day, especially if I wanted to do another training session that day. But using OXYfit, and this is completely genuine, I didn't have to sleep after that. I could sit there, do some work, breathe oxygen for 5-10 minutes, and then I'd be good to go, and I could easily do a training session later that day.
We use OXYfit during what we call drop sets, which are real lung bleeders. They really get you going, get the heart going as well. So we'll do maybe 10 reps on a certain weight, and then we'll drop the weight, and then we'll use OXYfit in between the sets just to refresh slightly, and then we'll drop the weight again, and we'll do another 10 reps, and by this time the heart's really pumping, the lungs are burning, and just OXYfit really helps in those. It just means that you look forward to those sets so much as dread them a little bit more.
Awesome.
I don't think you have to be a super sportsman to get something out of it. I think if you're not a super sportsman, it can help towards your sort of aerobic goals. If you're just starting out, maybe just being a runner and you're finding that you're struggling to breathe, or on the bike, or whatever it is you choose to do, if you can get any help towards helping you breathe in and helping you be more regular with your breath and bringing your heart rate down and increasing your rest time, I think OXYfit can be massive for improving on anything. Or if you're at a plateau in any sport and you need that extra boost to the next level, OXYfit can play a part in that as well.
I don't think it's necessarily just the extra edge. It's about giving you the mental edge, strength, and it really fits in. And like I said, it can really help people that are not finely tuned athletes. You know, it can help the everyday person for recovery, maybe a little niggle, a little injury that they pick up themselves from the gym. So it can really fit in from the word go.
I would say that actually with older athletes it will help even more because they find recovery slightly tougher, and with OXYfit they would be able to get on with it like the rest of their life, and that I think is key, when especially for amateur athletes it's really key, because you can't just sacrifice your life for one sport and one activity, and for most people it's really a hobby. So if you're lying in bed for the rest of the day and you've got children to look after, or you've got work to do, then it's no good really. You're going to probably start to think about giving up the sport. So. I'm right on the kind of fringe of amateur professional levels, so hopefully with OXYfit it can improve my recovery, help me to train at the same levels that professionals do and tougher than what professionals do, and recover even better.
Yeah, OXYfit will give me the edge. I mean, I've used it in testing so far, and I've seen benefits in the morning before I get on the bike, you know, waking up and alertness. This is only going to get on better. The more I use it, the more I learn about the product itself during the season. So we're going to use it all year. I'm going to use it all season, and this is what's going to help me.
Over the last 6 months I've been using OXYfit, and hopefully coming up to the World Championships at the end of the year, I'm hoping that OXYfit would have played a part in pushing on my sessions harder and harder, and seeing new heights of training, and OXYfit has played a massive part in that.
I feel pretty good now, so we'll just go again.
Go again?
Almost.
Well, you did say you were going to do a little bit of a training.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how long I've got, but yeah, I was thinking about, I mean with this I could definitely go out and jump on the bike again, and then do another run, because leading up to the Duathlon World Championships I would be running, biking, then running, so it'd be good to get a bit of extra training.
So you're saying to me that you've just done the UK Championship Sprint Triathlon, and you're seriously considering now going back out on your bike for a little training run, and the reason why you can do that is because of OXYfit?
Yeah, definitely helps. Definitely helps. The only thing that's stopping me is I can't get my bike out because they've locked it in transition. So I'll get it out as soon as I can. But yeah, I feel fine now. So it'd be good to get a little extra training in.